Today we are going to focus on equal sharing with fractions. There are two questions you want to ask yourself when you're solving an equal sharing problem. The first question is, can everyone get a whole? And the second question is, how many people are sharing? Let's try some examples. Two friends share 3 small pizzas. How much pizza will each friend get? So if you take a look at my drawing, I've represented my two friends, friend A and friend B, as 2 stars. And my 3 pizzas I represented as 3 rectangles because rectangles are easy to divide. I'm going to show how we can share the 3 small pizzas equally between the 2 friends in 2 different ways. So the first way that we can think about this is by answering our first question. And our first question is, we're asking ourselves, how many people are sharing? So we know that 2 friends are sharing the pizza. And the second thing I want to ask myself is, can everyone get a whole? Since there are 3 wholes, each friend can start off by getting a whole. So 1 whole would go to friend, or 1 pizza would go to friend A, 1 pizza would go to friend B. Now this last pizza, if we were to give it to 1 friend, then it wouldn't be equal. So we are going to have to share this pizza equally. So the next question I want to ask myself is, how many people are sharing? Well, I know that 2 friends are sharing, so I'm going to have to split my whole into 2 equal parts. And half would go to friend A and half would go to friend B. When I write my fraction as my answer, I see that each friend gets 1.5 pizzas. Another way that you can solve this problem is just by answering the question, how many people are sharing? Well, you know 2 friends are sharing, so if that is the case, each whole can be split into 2 equal parts. And if each whole is split into 2 equal parts, I would give 1 part to friend A and 1 to B. And when I do this, I notice that each friend is going to get 3 parts, and each whole was split into 2 equal parts. So each friend is going to get 3 halves of a pizza, which is the same as 1.5 pizzas. Those are equivalent fractions. Let's try another problem. 4 friends are sharing 5 brownies. How many brownies will each friend get? So if you take a look at my representation of the problem, I have 4 friends. I've labeled them friend A, friend B, friend C, and friend D. And I've shown the 5 brownies with 5 rectangles. So before I solve, I'm asking myself, can everyone get a whole? If there's 5 brownies and 4 friends, most likely, or everyone can get a whole. And how many people are sharing? There are 4 friends sharing. I'm ready to solve my problem in 2 different ways. Okay, so the first way I'm going to solve is I'm going to answer that question, can everyone get a whole? So if I was to divide this evenly between the 5 friends, giving everyone a whole to start, 1 whole brownie would go to each friend. I'd be left over with 1 brownie. The second question I'm asking myself is, how many people are sharing? So I know that 4 friends are sharing. So how many parts am I going to split that last whole into? You're going to split the last whole into 4 equal parts because we have 4 friends. Okay, and each friend is going to get 1/4 of the remaining brownie. So when we go ahead and write our answer, each friend gets 1 whole brownie and 1/4. It's important that you put the unit after your answer. Now, another way I can solve this is I can ask myself how many people are sharing and split each whole into that amount. So if I was solving this way, each whole would be split into 4 equal parts. So each whole would be split into fourths. Trying to make it as even as possible. Okay, and then when I go ahead and divide, I'm going to see that each friend is going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts, and each whole was split into 4 equal parts. So I write my fraction as 5/4 brownies, and 5/4 is equivalent to 1 1/4. If you have pencil and paper in front of you, I want you to try and solve this one as we work through it together. A group of 4 soccer players bought 6 gallons of water to the tournament on Saturday. If the soccer players share the water equally, how many gallons of water did each player get? Okay, so I represented in my picture the 4 soccer players, friend A, friend B, friend C, and friend D. And the 6 gallons of water are represented by 6 rectangles. I'm going to show how to solve this problem in 2 different ways. I would like you to try solving on your own as well. So the first way, the first question I'm asking myself is, can everyone get a whole? So if there are 6 gallons of water and 4 friends, everyone can get at least 1 whole. And I'm left with 2 gallons of water. So the next thing I want to ask myself is, how many people are sharing? So 4 friends are sharing, so that means each whole is going to be split into fourths. And when I split each whole into fourths, each person is going to get 1/4 of each of the remaining gallons. So totaling to each person receiving 1 full gallon and 2/4, or 1.5 gallons of water. Okay. Another way I can solve this is I can think about how many people are sharing. Well, I know that I have 4 friends, so I could really split each whole into 4 equal parts. When I split each whole into 4 equal parts, each friend is going to get 1/4 of each whole. Okay, so each friend is going to get 6 parts, and each whole was broken into 4 equal parts. Okay, our numerator is representing how many parts they receive. The denominator is representing how many parts 1 whole was broken into. So 6/4 gallons of water, and 6/4 is equivalent to 1 2/4 or 1.5. You are going to solve this problem on your own, so go ahead and pause the video, and I will be sharing the answer in just a few moments. 3 students in Mrs. Carlton's science class are sharing 5 feet of string for their project on inner planets. If the students share the 5 feet of string equally, how much string does each student get? Pause the video, solve on your own. Okay, so the first thing I know is that there are 3 friends, right? There's 3 students. So I'm going to represent them as circles. Just going to say A, B, and C. Okay, I also know that they're sharing 5 feet of string. So I'm going to represent 1 foot of string with a rectangle. And I have 5. Okay. So 2 questions I can ask myself is, can everybody get a whole? Well, I see that there are 5 holes, or there's 5 yards of string, feet of string, and there's only 3 students. So everyone can at least get 1 whole. So I'm going to start by doing that. I have 2 feet of string left over, and I have 3 students who are sharing. So that means that each whole is going to be split into thirds, right? Because 3 friends are sharing. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide each whole. Right? So each student is going to get 1/3 of the remaining wholes, okay? Totaling in 1 and 2/3 of string, or feet of string, per student. Now you could have solved it in another way. We'll show that on the next page. Okay, maybe some of you solved it by representing your 3 friends as circles or stick figures, whatever is quick and easy, and your 5 feet of string. And maybe you just thought about that there are 3 friends sharing and that you can split each whole into thirds. And when you split each whole into thirds and then divide, you're going to notice that each friend is going to get 6 parts. Okay? And each whole was broken into 3 equal parts. So your fraction is going to be 6/3 feet of string. And 6/3 is equivalent to 1 2/3. You are going to be practicing equal sharing problems on a Google form today. Please make sure that you also solve the problem of the day. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.